In the 13th century, Baghdad was more than a city, it was the heart of the Islamic world, the capital of the Abbasid Caliphate. Known as Madinat al-Salam, the city of peace, it stood as a beacon of civilization, famed for its libraries, universities, and hospitals. Scholars from across the globe flocked to its gates, drawn by the promise of knowledge and the patronage of the caliphs. Mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and philosophy flourished within its walls. Its markets overflowed with goods from distant lands, and the Tigris River brought life and trade to its gardens and palaces. The city's architecture reflected the power and sophistication of the Abbasid dynasty. For centuries, Baghdad was the center of the universe, a symbol of a golden age. But by the time of Caliph al-Mustasim Billah, the city's political power had waned even as its cultural prestige endured. The Caliph, a patron of the arts, trusted in the city's legendary status and its seemingly impenetrable walls. Yet, far to the east, a new power was rising: the Mongol Empire, forged on horseback and conquest. The Mongols valued cities for their wealth, not their culture, and their gaze was turning westward. Baghdad, the city of peace, was about to face a storm that would threaten to extinguish its light forever. The storm had a name: Hulagu Khan, grandson of Genghis Khan. Hulagu was ruthless and ambitious, sent by his brother, the great Khan Mongke, to destroy the last Muslim powers in the Middle East. He led the largest Mongol army ever assembled, over 150,000 men, including vassal soldiers from Christian Georgia and Armenia. This was not a raid, but an invasion designed for permanent conquest. The Mongols demanded submission. Resistance meant annihilation. Hulagu's campaign was rooted in the Mongol belief that the world must be united under the great Khan. Caliph al-Mustasim had defied the Mongols, refusing their demands and offering only arrogance in reply. As Hulagu's forces swept through Persia, their reputation for terror grew. Now, the unstoppable Mongol army marched toward Baghdad, the greatest city in the Islamic world. Baghdad was targeted for both strategic and symbolic reasons. Strategically, it controlled key trade routes and the rich lands of Mesopotamia, vital for Mongol expansion. Symbolically, it was the seat of the Caliph, the spiritual leader of Sunni Islam. Toppling Baghdad would shatter the idea of a unified Islamic realm and send a message: the old order was finished. The immediate pretext was al-Mustasim's defiance. He underestimated the Mongols, believing his spiritual prestige would protect him. The Caliph's threats were hollow. His army was small, and the Islamic world was too fractured to help. Hulagu, advised by those with grudges against the Caliphate, saw an opportunity to erase a rival power. The decision was cold and calculated. Baghdad had to fall. The Mongols prepared to make an example of the city. The fate of Baghdad was sealed. The Mongols were masters of siege warfare, combining engineering, discipline, and psychological terror. They brought expert engineers from conquered lands, building massive catapults and launching burning naphtha over city walls. Terror was a weapon. Prisoners' bodies were catapulted, skull pyramids erected, all to break defenders' spirits. Hulagu's army surrounded Baghdad, cutting off escape and hope of reinforcement. For nearly 2 weeks, siege engines battered the city's walls day and night. The defenders, led by Suleiman Shah, fought bravely but were hopelessly outmatched. Hulagu coordinated attacks at multiple points, probing for weaknesses. Once a breach was made, Mongol troops advanced in disciplined waves, overwhelming the defenders. Their methodical brutality left little chance for survival. Baghdad's fall was inevitable. On February 10, 1258, the Mongols breached Baghdad's eastern walls. The city's defenders were exhausted and quickly overwhelmed. Panic spread as the Mongols poured in. The city of peace was about to be violated. Al-Mustasim tried to negotiate, but it was too late. Hulagu demanded unconditional surrender. The Caliph and his court were lured out, disarmed, and executed. With the leadership gone, the Mongols unleashed a week of slaughter and destruction. No one was spared. Men, women, and children were killed indiscriminately. The Tigris ran red with blood. The city became a slaughterhouse. The Caliph was executed in Mongol fashion, wrapped in a carpet and trampled to death. The Abbasid dynasty and the Islamic Golden Age it symbolized ended in that moment. Baghdad, once a center of learning and beauty, was left in ruins. The world was changed forever. The destruction of Baghdad was not just physical, it was a cultural catastrophe. The city's libraries, including the legendary House of Wisdom, held irreplaceable manuscripts and centuries of knowledge. Mongol soldiers, indifferent to their value, destroyed these treasures. Books were torn apart, their pages thrown into the Tigris until the river ran black with ink. Homes, mosques, hospitals, and schools were looted and burned. The city's irrigation systems were destroyed, turning fertile land into wasteland. Survivors wandered through smoldering ruins, traumatized and broken. The psychological impact was profound, a civilizational crisis that shattered confidence across the Muslim world. The fall of Baghdad became a symbol of a lost golden age. The river of ink and blood marked the end of an era. After a week, Hulagu ordered the killing to stop, but Baghdad was already a ghost town. The death toll was staggering, the city's population was decimated. Its irrigation systems ruined, Baghdad would never regain its former glory. The execution of al-Mustasim marked the end of the Abbasid Caliphate and the unity of Sunni Islam. The Islamic world became fragmented, and a new center of power would only later emerge in Egypt. The destruction of Baghdad's libraries meant the loss of countless unique works and a break in intellectual momentum. While scholarship continued elsewhere, the heart of Islamic learning was gone. The Golden Age ended in fire and blood. The sack of Baghdad stands as a warning about the fragility of civilization. No city, no matter how great, is eternal. The memory of its burning libraries and river of ink reminds us of what can be lost. It is a dark chapter, but one with enduring lessons for humanity.